Wow. I'm impressed. What a beautiful day outside. It's a sign of new beginnings. An incredible opportunity for Albertans to begin anew right here in Calgary, and we're very excited to be here. I will tell you that the support that we're receiving right across this province is growing and growing every single visit. And of course, I'm very impressed with Calgary, who has always supported Wildrose and the Wildrose principles that are so great. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. And as many of you know, I am from Northern Alberta. I'm from Fort McMurray. And you know, I was raised in Fort McMurray. I've been there pretty much 50 years of my life. Yes, I'm just barely over 50. And I've seen firsthand the prosperity that our natural resources have brought this great province. Whether it be agriculture or oil or gas, or the people itself, which are the greatest benefit we have to Alberta and Alberta's future. Now, the people of Fort McMurray and Calgary, and I do use the people of Fort McMurray and Calgary, understand the hard work, ingenuity, and creativity are what defines the Alberta spirit. And my friends, it is these values that link the North and this great city of Calgary. This city and my hometown have a partnership that has helped establish Alberta as the best place to live, work, and play in the world. Calgary has a very proud history, as does Fort McMurray. Built on the backs of pioneers and ranchers, and spurred on by the oil boom over a century ago. Today, Calgary now stands as one of the world's most prosperous cities, a bold and flourishing example of what great things we are able to accomplish and to achieve. It is actually home to the greatest outdoor show on the planet, a show that I continuously go to because I can't get enough of it. It draws millions of people every year, and it is an incredible city. It is home to rich arts and cultural scenes that are second to none in the country. And right next door lies one of the most beautiful things we will ever see, and that's, of course, the Rocky Mountains. And friends, Calgary is home to one of the strongest, most creative, and thriving business communities in Canada and, frankly, in the world. There was a time when bad government policy in Ottawa forced both Fort McMurray and Calgary to fight for jobs, to fight for growth, and to fight for prosperity, to fight to make ends meet. High taxes and overregulation strangled everything we had built. Investors fled. They left. They left to go to different places, to different cities and to different countries, to greener pastures. And they took their jobs with them. As we look back on our history, we must remember that even in Alberta, in this great, great province that is so strong and has so many natural competitive advantages, that we are still subject to bad ideas that can cause us economic ruin and a crash in our economy. Today, we are facing new obstacles. We have had a PC party that has been in power for 44 years and frankly is out of touch with Albertans and out of touch with Albertans' priorities. A once very proud party that Albertans could trust, the PCs have collapsed under the weight of crushing debt, dozens of tax hikes, dozens of problems within the party itself, and what will be a decade of deficits. Their slow decline appears almost complete. That's right, it appears almost finished. Their time is coming to an end, and Alberta and Albertans are moving on. I have been to every corner of this province over the last 2 months, and there's one thing that I have learned clearly. Albertans want a change. They want something different. But let's be clear. They're not looking for just any kind of change. They want change that is responsible, that is measured, that's balanced, and change that will keep our economy growing. The kind of approach the PCs used to provide Alberta, but are no longer capable of providing or in fact interested in providing, as we can see from the recent budget. The choice facing Albertans has never been so clear. Never, ever been so clear as it is now. The NDP wants higher taxes on families. They want to take more money out of your pocket. And they want higher taxes on job creators. They insist Alberta's long-term prosperity can be secured through overburdening businesses and taking more money out of your pocket. That's not what the Wildrose stands for, and we won't let that happen. The NDP believes in taxing its way to prosperity. This misguided NDP ideology has failed in practice every single time across Canada and around the world in accomplishing anything, except for taxing and leading to deficits and leading to higher taxes. Alberta cannot afford its own NDP experiment. And of course, there is the Wildrose. The Wildrose is different than the NDP, is different than the PCs, and has taken a different approach to the Coalition for Higher Taxes. It's a party that has roared back to life after being left for dead, fighting for the very values and principles that made this city and this province what it is today. The values that we hold so dear: hard work, free enterprise, low taxes, and of course, the entrepreneurial spirit that all of us have. Folks, I know that people are hurting in Calgary. They're hurting right across this province, but especially in Calgary. Many have lost their jobs, and many more are wondering if their job is next. And I know that for a long time, Calgary has looked to the PC party to give them good government. And there have been years, a long time ago, where PC policy and PC leaders have helped our province prosper. But those years are over. Those years are over. Only the Wildrose stands between the NDP and their risky designs and experiments on our Alberta economy. Only the Wildrose can stand between the NDP and these disastrous experiments. People have said that we don't have a clear plan, that we don't have a clear plan for cuts. And friends, you and I know that's not true. It's simply not true. It's nothing but additional fear-mongering from a PC dynasty running scared from extinction. Our plan brings in gradual spending, but it also brings in gradual operational savings of $1.1 billion, $1.6 billion, and $2.2 billion over the next 3 years. It begins with cutting cabinet and premier's offices expenses, capping executive pay, reducing 1,600 government managers, and freezing manager salaries. Total savings between all of that is $308 million. It's itemized, and you might have heard it's on page 5 of our plan. But I want to go on and tell you about the rest of our plan on focus cuts, focus reductions that will help our economy and keep money in your pockets. Ending sole source cronyism and corporate welfare, which we know are rampant in this province with the PCs. Bringing in zero-based budgeting reviews and establishing a wastebuster program that has worked in other provinces actually saves $1.35 billion with a B in 2017 alone. We will take a whack to the bloated PC bureaucracy in Edmonton, and our plan means there will be 1,600 fewer AHS managers, managers that have doubled in size over the last 10 years. Fewer consultants, fewer pencil pushers. There will be less government travel. There will be less advertising expenses allowed, less conference budgets, and less communication staff. Believe it or not, and I was shocked to learn this, did you know this government has more communication staffers than there are actually journalists in the entire province of Alberta? They could put one communication staffer with every journalist and still have room left over. Shocking. The savings for these cuts are $297 million. Shocking, isn't it? No. Well, I'm shocked. The more we... The more we see, the more shocked it becomes. And finally, by not going on a borrowing binge like the PCs and the NDP are promising to do with their plans, Wildrose will actually lower interest payments on the debt and stretch the capital plan from 5 years to 6 years, front-end loading the more important priorities of infrastructure such as hospitals and schools, especially in this great city of Calgary where it's so desperately needed. Our total savings here, $1.6 billion. Again, found on page 5. And friends, none of these cuts target frontline services. We will protect frontline services, whether it's in education or healthcare. Any service that's provided to the people of Alberta. And Wildrose's plan is the only plan that will attract jobs and investment to our great province. It's the only plan that will not raise your taxes. And it's the only plan that will keep us on the path of prosperity for our province. Now, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but I'm aware of it. Calgary voters will likely decide the outcome of this election. That's right, you will. And we want your vote. We want your support. But all I ask is that you consider this. The PCs have broken your trust too many times. You can't trust what they say and promise anymore. Wildrose will work hard to earn and keep your trust, because we know that the only way to have the authority to govern is to have your trust. And we have to earn your trust, and we will. And we want to keep your trust, and we will, if given the opportunity. The NDP can't be trusted. They can't be trusted to protect your job. They can't be trusted to protect anyone's job. And you know, I stumble over my words with the NDP because I'm shocked at where they are. I cannot believe Albertans would consider an NDP government that would destroy our economy. It shocks me. Because we've heard clearly that they don't believe that pipelines should exist for our natural resources. That these natural resources should not get to market. That these natural resources should not get to tidewater. And even the NDP in Manitoba are suggesting that they need intervenor status to block any eastern pipeline. That they will not support the Keystone pipeline and not support the Northern Gateway pipeline. How many jobs in Alberta are they prepared to sacrifice for their broken ideas and ideology? The NDP cannot be trusted to protect your job. Wildrose will fight for every single job in Calgary and every single job across this great province.
Hear, hear.
Now, a Wildrose vote in Calgary is a vote for what matters for you. The more Wildrose MLAs elected, the lower your taxes will be, the better your health care will be, the better your education will be, and the better your quality of life will be.
Hear, hear.
And finally, I think we all recognize in this room and across Alberta that the only way to ensure a strong economy is to vote Wildrose, to keep your taxes low, to keep money in your pockets, and to make sure we protect your jobs. Thank you very much.